Hey guys, how's it going?
It is
going better now.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't catch that, I'm sure you did catch that. That's Rex Carroll playing his guitar right now live with us. And I asked him if he'd be willing to do that, and so he's going to burn for us here.
How's that?
That's incredible, sir.
Yeah, all I can say, Rex, is that your guitar does not gently weep.
No.
Your guitar aggressively screams.
No, I believe in walk through the front door and make a big noise, often and early.
All right. And we appreciate that. That's exactly what we want here. So you're on with us today specifically because of the new Fierce Heart project. Yeah. The single is out, at least on YouTube. We've listened to it. Great sound, by the way. Steve and I were talking before the show. What an incredible sound it is. You mentioned it's taken a while to get this project done.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's been since 2014 that the last King James album came out. And I've been casting around for things to do since then. Anyways, this was a 2-year project in the making, mainly because I'm working out of my home studio. But, we got it done and was able to get it signed on Dark Star Records. And that is a huge bonus because I'm in with that label, presuming that everything goes well with the label, and I think that it will. They're down for all of my projects, and that would mean everything from Fierce Heart to White Cross to even my blues trio. As you guys know, I do a lot of things, and they're interested in the artist, not just the specific band per se.
Okay, all right. Well, great. I'm glad you found them, somebody that is going to promote everything you do, because everything you do has been great with the Rex Carroll Band, White Cross, King James. It's just been incredible. When I listen to this singles, Rex, and then when I listen to the original Fierce Heart, White Cross, King James, or even the Rex Carroll Band, I get that sense that I can tell that it's Rex playing because you have a certain sound, but each one is different. Can you tell us what that's like to be able to be that versatile in playing for several different band styles and sounds?
I don't know. To me, they're all the same. I mean, that's the new song. There's not that much difference from that to, I don't know. And that's a King James song. And then, that's a White Cross song. So to me, there's a lot of continuity from one to the next. So to me, it's all just they're all riffs in the same keys, and sometimes I have to practice, make sure I play the right song at the right time on the set list.
So tell us a little. Why did you go with the Fierce Heart expression, if you will, at this time? I mean, we had the original album back in '85. How come we're here in Fierce Heart in 2020?
For me, and Fierce Heart has started in 1984. It actually started before that when I developed a relationship with the record label, but the album was recorded in '84. It came out in '85. Hit the charts. It was doing a little bit, and it almost succeeded, but it didn't quite work out. So after a couple of years went by, we all went on to different projects, and that's when I, of course, started White Cross after that. So there seems to be a continuity in my life because 35 years come and go, and then I had the opportunity to do a re-release of the original Fierce Heart album, and we have a new singer that goes back with me for 35 years, and they put it out, and we played at one of the melodic rock festivals, and it went fantastic with the crowd. And I thought, well, we've got a whole catalog of unreleased material plus some new songs. So I thought I was starting on a nice, easy 6-month project, and it turned into 2 years because that's how it is when you're operating with no budget, as you guys know. So everything's on a shoestring. I'm trying to keep 4 guys together and then negotiating with the record label, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But here we are. But at the very end of all things, I'm really thrilled with the results and loving how it came out. And so far, in like day 1 of release, because the announcement literally came out yesterday, we've got a huge ton of views on the single, and the awareness level is already out there, and people are generally responding like it's really great. So I couldn't be happier.
Well, the single is just hot, and I got to be honest.
Sure.
We knew the announcement was coming out yesterday, and I was in southern part of the state visiting my mother-in-law for her birthday, and I wasn't able to hear the song as soon as it came out. And Wildman's texting me. He says, "Man, you got to listen to this thing." So we're driving back home, and I put it in. I'm listening to it, and my jaw nearly hits the ground. It is what you want from that classic bluesy-based hard rock of the 80s, but clearly a 21st century sound. It's not just some reworked piece from the 80s, but it is fresh. And the song is called Built for Speed, everybody. Dark Star Records. It's on YouTube right now. You can go check it out. It's getting thousands of views, going like crazy.
Yeah, it really is. And we'll have a release date on the album coming up soon. There's still just a little bit of things to attend to with the artwork in terms of just reviewing things, but everything, all the elements that we need are in place. So it'll be like another day or two to get a release date, and they'll probably put that out, I would imagine, sometime this week.
Well, I don't know if you've already got your artwork working, but I'm looking at your website right now, and just the picture of you 4 guys, that would make a killer album cover because you guys look pretty fierce. So tell us a little bit about the guys in the band.
Well, you've got Robert Reynolds, who's the big muscular guy in the front, and he's the lead singer, and he's actually been my friend since going back to about I'm just going to say roughly 1980. And that's one of the things in my life is I've been loyal to the guys that I work with. And so he came into the Fierce Heart band after the original vocalist stepped out. And we wrote a bunch of, again, as I said, we wrote a bunch of music together. We gigged around quite a bit. And then, whoops, sorry. The guitar gets a mind of its own. And then Nick Forcioni, who's the drummer, he's the guy with the drumstick. And you can't see it in the picture, but he's working on a cowbell in his... and that's why we also call him the cowbell technician. And he also was in the original lineup of the band. And so to me, that's like pretty amazing that you can keep that group of guys together for that many years. And in the meanwhile, Robert lives out in Los Angeles and has done a lot of projects out there. And Nick, the drummer, he has been on tour with a lot of country bands, and he's kept busy as a gigging drummer all this time. And then on the bass guitar is my friend Antonio Acevedo, who lives up here near me, and we have been in bands together going back to like the late 90s with the Rex Carroll band, and he's been with me on many projects. And so it's nice when you have a group of guys that you know and you respect, and everybody has fun working together, and that's how a band is supposed to be, and that's what everybody says that they want when they start out. And then, rock bands is like I don't know, it's like a group of prima donnas or something. It always falls apart on something or other. But it's like, I guess in a way, it's like a marriage. If you can get through so many years together, then you can just ride it out. And I think we're at that point now, and I hope that it stays together for a long time to come.
Very good. Wildman and Steve were interviewing Rex Carroll, Metal Talk Live. So Rex, when you look back on that, you've alluded to this a little bit, and you had the band in place back when you went on to other projects, and you went on with White Cross, King James, Rex Carroll Band. Now you're coming back together with Fierce Heart. When you all went to do your own stuff and you were doing White Cross, did you ever envision this happening?
Had no idea. Had no idea. But, when we did the last King James album, the thought in my mind at that time was great, a second chance to make a first impression. And that's in the sense that I have the same vibe with this group, a second chance to make a first impression. And, we'll see what happens. It's a very strange world we live in these days. So who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us about the album itself. What can your fans and listeners expect from the album musically as well as lyrically?
Well, this is a mainstream rock album, which, as you know, it's a departure from the White Cross album. It's not strictly an evangelical type album. This is just a mainstream rock album. So if I get any pushback from that, that's okay. I can handle that. It was an opportunity that came up, and when you're a broke musician, you need to take advantage of opportunities to make some money. So there is that. But having said that, it's also, I have had some of my friends that I respect. Your friends always tell you that it's great. But in this case, I've had people tell me, "Oh, dude, this is like the best thing you have ever done." And I know that it's up there. If you like the opening song, I can tell you there's no drop off as far as the intensity level and the craftsmanship and everything else that goes into all the rest of the songs as well. So it'll be a nice addition to anybody who collects rock and roll music. It'll be a nice addition to your collection.
Absolutely. And listening to the single and re-listening to the original album from '85, I was talking with Wildman earlier. People will ask that question, right? So if you're a Christian artist, what are you doing making secular music? And
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how much pushback you would get today. I feel like maybe you might have gotten some more pushback before, but from where I'm coming from, I drive a Ford Mustang, right? I didn't ask that it had to be made by some Christian car company.
Well,
right?
there is that line of thinking, and I can speak to that a little bit. I'll tell you a really quick little story, or I'll condense it down. Back in the day, I'm talking like in the year 1985, the record had been out, and the record label was wanting to make a music video for us for MTV, which was in its heyday at that time. So at that point in time, I was terrified. I thought, oh my goodness. I saw the script for the video. It sounded like an awesome script, but it was very babe-centric. It would have been a lot of camera shots of well-endowed women in halter tops, and I thought, oh boy, the kids are going to love this, but my wife will throw me out of the house, and I'll be excommunicated from my church. So I didn't really know how to handle that at that time, and it was a relief to me in a sense when that video ended up not getting made. So, and then all these years, many years later, I find that the difference is you have to know who you are as an artist. You have to know where you stand with the Lord. You have to be confident in His calling and direction in your life. And And you have to know what is your message. You have to know who is your culture, who is your audience, and